video of the dark web real quick?
Yeah, bro.
Here. Look at this article. What the fuck is it? Look at this shit. Is the dark web illegal? Let me see this shit. What? Is it illegal to do 3 ways to get busted on the dark web? Oh shit. I can't wait. The dark web is small and secretive part of the regular web that suddenly became heaven for drug markets, pedophiles, and sex traffickers. Being stupid or careless. Tor might be a very compatible piece of technology built by very clever people, but sophisticated tools are no match for operators who don't know what they're doing. That's probably fucking me. Using Tor or something like that.
I have a question.
What?
So the FBI can't stop this bullshit.
I think you can. I think they have some parts, but not all the parts. Not all the parts, but they did some parts. They can't stop the Red Room stuff though, bro.
Explain this shit. By the way, there's a big ass delay.
Yeah, there's a delay. I don't know how to fix it. Well, I can fix it, but I don't know how to do it right now. On the dark web, your website is a beacon of interest that needs to keep out both the bad guys and the good guys. If the bad guys break in, they will walk off with your Bitcoin stash. When the good guys break in, they'll use their access to figure out who and where you are. What the fuck? Wait, what? What? Good guys and bad guys. If the bad guys break in, they will walk off with your Bitcoin stash, which is your money. And it says if the good guys break in, they'll use your access to figure out who and where you live. Nigga, what? Nigga, what type of fucking 2015 type assassination shit is that? Your site can stand out a mile in the dark web too. A poorly secure website is vulnerable on any network, but on the regular web, it is at least a needle in the path. It takes some serious muscle video real quick. Okay, I'm gonna look up a YouTube video of it.
You need a logo. Why not make it? Today, with Taylor Brands, you can create a
Today's episode is sponsored by Audible. Get a free audiobook with a 30-day trial today by signing up at audible.com/infographic. Of human meat and browse the most cruel, immoral, and illegal pornography known to man. But how easy is it to access this netherworld? Do we need special permission from some shady figure on some dark forum to gain access to the dark web? Or do we require some special technical skills to enter this domain of depravity? Today we find out just what strange content populates this dark underworld in this episode of the infographic show, The Dark Web. First of all, just what is the dark web? The dark web forms a small part of the deep web and is not indexed by search engines. That means it can't be found.
Okay, it goes surface. The surface web is like Google, bro. It's like Google and Bing and shit. Hold on, go back. Wikipedia. I'm going to the deep web, not the dark web. My fault. Deep web, academic information, legal documents, scientific reports, social media, government resources, medical records. The dark web, illegal information, Tor encrypted sites. That means they can find you wherever you're at. Political protests and private communications, drug traffic. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to the deep web. I'm not going to the dark web, bro. There ain't no way in hell, bro. I'm not going there, bro. Nigga, fuck that, bro. This right here is what scares me, bro. Tor encrypted sites. That's when people can find you, bro. If you're like on the wrong link. Did you know where if you probably already know this, bro. If you're on the wrong link, like a link up here, bro, they can find out where you live, bro. Like instantly, bro.
Indexed by search engines. That means it can't be found through the likes of Google, Yahoo, Bing, and so forth. This is uncharted territory for the everyday internet user, as we
Bro, you know people can like set me up, right? You know, like they can be like, I can have somebody kill you right now if you don't give me $1,000 in Bitcoin, and then they'll link out my information. And then if I don't give them the money, I'm probably gonna die. So yeah, there's some fucked up people in this world. You already know that, bro. You already know that shit. I ain't gotta explain.
We usually use the main search engines to surf our content. Instead, the deep web is explored with peer-to-peer networks along with larger networks such as Tor, I2P, and Freenet. Identities and locations of users on the dark web are kept secret through a layered encryption technology. While most of the content on the deep web contains nothing bone-chillingly sinister, in fact, much of the content is large databases, libraries, and members-only websites and academic resources, the content that is anonymous, and therefore considered morally questionable, is considered to belong to the dark side of the deep web, the darknet. To further confuse matters, the dark web isn't the same as the dark internet, the latter being the place where scientists store raw data for research. Government agencies are, in theory, supposed to be able to track some of the characters behind this anonymous dark web space, but it is tricky and requires an infinite amount of resources and isn't always successful. But sometimes they hit the jackpot. On July 5, 2017, 26-year-old Canadian Alexander Kazes was found dead in a Thai police cell after intelligence agencies discovered his whereabouts. He had been running a massive dark web marketplace selling drugs, weapons, and other contraband on the underground website Alphabay. Kazes lived a life of luxury in Thailand, owning 3 houses and 4 cars, one of which was a Lamborghini. A computer expert/nerd who had amassed a fortune in Bitcoin, Kazes had his hand in the dark cookie jar when the law finally caught up with him. Rather than face extradition to a Western prison, Kazes chose to commit suicide in a Thai holding cell where he was found by local cops. So be warned, the dark web isn't for the faint of heart, and some of those who travel down there and make a living down there never, ever return. So let's take a trip down into the dark recesses of the internet. Grab a flashlight and follow us as we travel down into these black markets and seedy chat rooms. The darknet, as we found out, is a venue for illegal trade in drugs, weapons, and controlled animal products. but it is also a place where deviant criminals such as pedophiles and terrorists exchange gossip on forums. It is a dark and dirty place, and if you're thinking of taking a trip there, you better prepare to brush cyber shoulders with some of society's outcasts. Just when you think you've discovered the most morally repulsive website, another one pops up. A 2014 study carried out by the University of Portsmouth discovered that the most common content on Tor was child pornography. Other brands
Oh yeah, bro, I forgot to tell you, bro. Nigga, they got animal porn on there, bro. No cap, bro. They got fucking animal porn. Look at this shit. Child pornography, animal. What the fuck is revenge porn? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is revenge porn? What the fuck is that, nigga? What? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is revenge porn? Nigga, what? What the fuck is animal revenge porn? What? But what is that, bro? Did somebody beat you up and you... What? Yeah, what is that? Oh fuck, I hope this nigga's alright. Nigga, I thought that was the FBI, nigga. I was about to say, what the fuck? We were talking about fucking revenge porn and they found you. But what is that, bro? I've been watching porn since I was 12 years old. I've never heard revenge porn at all, bro. What the heck is that? I'm dang near about to look it up, no cap. Oh. Burger bodies. What the fuck is revenge porn? Relieving or sexually explicit images or videos of a person posted on the internet, typically by a former sexual partner, without the consent of the subject, and in order to cause them distress or embarrassment. Oh, okay. Yeah, what the fuck is that? Hold on, bro, what? I can't even spell it. Oh shit. I can't find it. Don't you hate when you look something up and there's not like a box or anything there, bro? Like, oh my fucking god, bro. My shit gonna be looking sus as fuck, bro. I already know they looking up my fucking IP address right now, bro. I'm so fucked, bro. Nigga, fuck that, bro. They about to... Oh, baby, bro, fuck. I'm about to watch the rest of the video, though, see what happens. What the fuck, nigga, revenge, animal revenge porn. Oh, somebody said in the comments, said it's rape. In other words. Oh. Oh! If we do porn, it will be called animal porn. Oh, that's my friend in the chat. Oh, so you're saying like animal revenge porn is like raping fucking animals, I guess? I fucking guess.
of sick content include animal porn and revenge porn, and perhaps even animal revenge porn. It is also a place for hackers to hang out. Groups such as Xdedic, Hack Forum, Trojan Forge, and The Real Deal meet up here, and in a strange twist of cyber fate, some of these groups have been known to target and uncover the pedophile groups who also hang out there. So in some instances, the dark web polices itself. Other questionable content to be found on the dark web include recipes for cooking human meat and sites to hire a hitman. Whether the sites offer practical services or are of a more entertainment nature is open to conjecture. You will also find political whistleblowing sites and cyber currency discussion sites. Travel on the dark side is notoriously slow, so don't be expecting a lightning-fast dark vacation in hell. With traffic bouncing through the computers of volunteer networks, the traffic is continually encrypted and pushed through multiple proxies, meaning some pages will sit there haunting you for apparent eternity. If you feel it's time to dip your toe in this murky pond, know that technically it's not that difficult to get there. You will need to install Tor and use the Vidalia control panel. Some users recommend putting a strip of tape over your webcam to prevent dark eyes from watching you as you surf. A tinfoil hat is also optional. If you do travel down there to the dark side, be safe, and be warned that you may discover something even more disturbing than the things we already mentioned. You could be one click away from something that will change your perception of the world forever. There is so much more that could be said about the dark web, and if you want a more in-depth look into it, we suggest listening to a documentary on Audible called The Dark Web. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership, so you can check out this book risk-free. Listening is a better way to binge content you love while doing things you love. Audiobooks are a great sidekick for summer activities like hiking, sunbathing on the beach, running, road tripping, enjoying downtime outdoors, and more. Go to audible.com/infographics and browse the unmatched selection of audio programs. Download a title free and start listening. It's that easy. Go to...
Yeah, he's talking shit. But did you see that, bro? It said you can, it said a cannibal recipe, nigga. What? Hold on, I need to go back to that. What did that say? Yeah, I was just about to say. Bro, if I see a nigga looking at me from the other screen, bro, fuck no, bro. Bro, I seen this thing, bro. This dude actually hacked him, bro, and took his mouse, like, his computer was right here, bro. He was moving the mouse, it wasn't working, but when somebody was moving his own mouse, bro, it's like they took his mouse and everything else, bro. Nigga, if that shit happens to me, bro, I'm getting the baseball bat and smashing everything in my room, bro. Every electronic. Might as well smash my phone. Fuck that shit, bro. Oh, you know Coach O, right? Bro, you know, have you ever heard when he said, like, the phones listen to you, bro? Oh, my mama, bro, it's so true, bro. It happened to me yesterday. What the fuck did I watch yesterday, bro? It was something weird that I watched, bro. I was talking about something, bro. And then all of a sudden, bro, my YouTube fucking shit, bro, it popped up as a recommended. I was like, what? Bro, I was like, what the fuck? That shit's scary, bro. Uh-huh. I'm telling you, bro. It's something, bro. That's really disturbing, bro. Alright, let's try this shit again. Like, what the fuck, bro? That shit is disturbing as hell. Like, we have no privacy. I hope you know that. Yeah, nigga. I mean, I don't know why I don't have 64-bit, but Windows 7. I need Windows 10. I don't even fucking have Windows 10. What the fuck is Windows 10? Man, this is gonna have to work. This? The fuck? I just put fucking... Expert mode. What the fuck is that?
You gotta download Tor or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. Let me look back up that one video with the fucking whatchamacallit.
I'm creating my Wix site. You think you already have a stunning website? That's cool. You're welcome to skip, or...
We're now going to go next.
Oh yeah, this is basically computer, making a computer inside my computer, so I need to put some stuff on it. looked like he owned 5 Wendy's. Yeah. Oh shit.
And we need to now choose how much memory we want our machine to have. I'm just going to leave it at 2 gig. That's absolutely.
What should I leave my thing at? Nah, that's too high. I'm gonna leave mine at 3 gigabytes. There.
Absolutely fine. And we're going to go next. And I'm going to keep create a virtual hard disk now selected. And we're going to keep VDI selected.
I already seen some fucked up shit, bro. Nigga, what the fuck? That nigga said fucking animal revenge porn, bro. The fuck is that, bro? Oh shit, I'm using 50 terabytes? Hell no, back that shit up, bro. These fucking... Damn, how much can you put on this? 2 terabytes? I don't even have that much. I'm gonna leave that shit at 3 gigs. Okay. Oh shit, what the fuck just happened? What the fuck? Fucked up machine. Hell no, I'm watching the video real quick.
And we're going to go next. And we're going to leave that all as it is. Next. And 32 gig machine. It's as simple as that. It takes 2 seconds to set up a machine. Now we need to add our ISO image of Windows 10, or you need to put the disk in your CD drive if you've got one. You now need to click on storage, and you need to click on this disk image.
Click on storage. The fuck?
Here. You now need to click on the disk image to the right hand side, and you need to either select your disk drive, which would be called host drive I believe, or you need to find the ISO image by going choose disk.
What the fuck is that? Oh shit. You said I need to go fucking... Right, storage? Right there? Fuck, where did he go from here?
I'm now going to go be called host drive I believe, or you need to find the ISO image by going choose disk.
Find ISO image. Storage. Choose disk. I don't fucking have one.
I'm now going to go to my desktop, as that's where my ISO image is, and we're just going to select it.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is... You know what the image is? What the fuck do you see that shit at? I don't see shit here. The fuck is an iOS image? What the fuck is that shit? I don't even fucking have that. Get this bullshit out of the way. Can I even delete this shit? Fuck it, I can't find it.
And go open, and we're going to hit OK. And that is it. We can now launch Arthur in the machine and stuff. If you want to have one at the minute,
He said that's it. Okay, so what the fuck did he do? It's turned off. Preview it. How do you fucking turn it on? So let's start up this. I need whatever the fuck that dude had. Please select the virtual optical disk file or physical containing a disk to start your new virtual machine form. How the fuck? So once I get whatever the fuck I need, this should be suitable for starting a computer to contain the operating system you wish to install on the virtual machine. If you want to do that now, this will be ejected from the virtual machine drive automatically next time you switch the virtual machine off. You can also do this yourself if you need it. What? I need a disk? What type of fucking disk? What? I mean, I do have this somewhere. Like, I have this. I don't know what the fuck this is, but I guess I'll put it in. I don't even know what the fuck this is. I fucking guess. I'm gonna put it in anyways. Where the fuck do you even put this shit at? Oh, fuck me. Does my shit even have it? There it is. Put this shit in here. Easy. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, how the fuck? How do you put this shit in here? What the fuck? Does my shit even have a disc? Oh wait. Never mind. It has a disc somewhere. Just can't see it. Oh, I think I found it. No, I fucking didn't. What the fuck? I need to find my light, dude. I
just press I don't have one. Next, you need to now go select the version of Windows and its screen. Right, you now